Hey YouTube, this message is for anyone who's on Live Me or who may consider joining Live Me in the near future. My name is Texas Warrior Princess on Live Me, and I will put the link to my Live Me account on the description below so y'all can connect with me on there. I am going to be taking this very seriously. I started it towards the end of this year in 2017. What I call the War Room on Live Me. That is what my broadcast is called. People are allowed to jump in the group beam, and they basically share their life story and the things that they have battled and overcome throughout life, or that they are still battling at this moment. And so far it has gone really well. I've had about 3 or 4 guests sit in the beam, and this year I want to really kick it off and take this seriously and get this little pink book filled with people who are going to be doing this on a nightly basis. I will be broadcasting every single night except for Tuesday nights from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Only on Tuesday nights. I will not broadcast because I sell Mary Kay, and I go every Tuesday night to a Mary Kay meeting, and so that's the only night I will not be available. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be available. I really, really want to do this. I'm very passionate about it. It goes hand in hand with a book that I'm writing called Life in the Battle Zone. And that is a compilation of people's stories and the battles that they have faced and overcome. Many of the people who are in the book, the stories that they have shared with me, are people from Live Me. Not including myself and my mother, which obviously I'm on Live Me, but she is not. I'm hoping to get more stories to fill in this book. My initial goal was at least 40 people, but if the stories can keep on flooding in, I'll keep writing books for as long as it takes. I've really taken up a liking to this writing thing, which is something I never imagined myself doing in my entire life. When I was 14, I dreamed of being a storm chaser, so this is not something I saw my entire life doing. This is only something that's been put on my heart in the last decade or so. I originally started out writing a book called Other Choices Before Adoption, and that book originally was about 300 pages, and I was upset because my ex wanted to shrink it down to about a 30-page book, and I basically threw a temper tantrum and said, I'm not writing this book anymore if you're going to tell me how to write it. And his reason for that was because he wanted it to be affordable and just have, very key points and, very distinct highlights of my story in this book, so that the book could be affordable to almost any person out there, that it wouldn't cost more than maybe $5. And now, a decade later, I'm kind of understanding his reasoning for that, even though his approach in doing so was not so great. Maybe if we would have sat down and discussed it a little bit better, I might have been more understanding and more open to it. But just taking over it and deleting things out of the book without my permission and stuff like that, it really threw me for a loop, and I just gave up on writing that book. Well, 3 years ago, after moving in with my mother, losing my home that I'd had for 14 years, nearly having I had an accident that nearly killed the 3 of us, me and my 2 kids. Losing everything, I decided to write a book called Life in the Battle Zone. My entire life, I had been battling so much. I had struggled so many things, ranging from not even being able to be born, for one thing. I shouldn't even be here making this video. My mom had the worst case of toxemia when she was pregnant with me, and doctors advised her that she should have aborted me. And she chose not to. She went home, she prayed about it, and she said, no, I'm going to keep it. And whatever happens, happens. Well, she not only carried me 9 months, she carried me 10 months gestation. And I was born at 10:10 in the morning, weighing 10 pounds and 10 ounces. So I was a very healthy 10-month gestation baby. But my struggles, my battles did not end from birth. I went on to basically starving to death because I had severe allergies to milk, and they couldn't find anything to feed me with. They tried all kinds of milk. I had my face torn apart when I was 3 by a dog. It was totally mutilated by the dog. Watched my parents go through a brutal divorce. Kids with taunt me at school and call me the bastard child. I was picked on most of my life, abused by step parents, abused by kids at school. You know, I went through a lot of stuff. I was homeless by the age of 15 for 5 years. I was raped at the age of 20, lost a child at 21, you know, things like that. I had been through numerous things in my life, and I thought, what better sitting than a book called Life in the Battle Zone, and to allow other people to come in and to share their stories of the battles that they had faced and are still overcoming at this moment that we speak, and still going through battles day after day, even after sharing their stories. One of the most compelling stories that are in this book is from a guy that's actually a friend of mine on Live Me. He's on my diamond board, as they call it. What that is when people come into your broadcast, they can gift you stuff, and it counts on your board how many diamonds that person's given you over time. And he's about my number 6, I believe, on my diamond board. He goes by the name Inlokes. And his is one of the most compelling stories I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't think anything could possibly pass this. I mean, this is a very horrific story from conception on up, much like mine, but it also includes things like murder, child molestation, abuse, being used as a human target by your own mother, a human shield by your own mother breaking multiple bones in your body, and just so many horrific things, allowing drug addicts to sexually molest you that were friends of hers. He had just been through so much horrific stuff, and I've so far not found a story that's worse than this one. And I don't know that I ever will, but I still feel that everyone out there has a right to give a voice to their pain. And that's the whole goal. And doing this broadcasting, doing the War Room, writing this book, is to reach out to people and allow them to be able to share their stories and put a voice to that pain once and for all. We're in a world where society has taught us to just shut up, keep it closed lip, and deal with it and move on. And that's not the way we function as human beings. Society has made us think that it's not okay to talk about what hurts us. We're supposed to just, shut it out, deal with it, and move on. And not everybody as human beings brain functions in the same way. We're not all the same. We're not as strong as one another, as each other. Some of us need the opportunity to open up to others, to connect with others who have been through similar situations that we have been through, so that maybe there is some kind of shed of light or hope or something, that maybe one day we can move past these things that have been going on in our life and begin to, be happy and be free of these things that have bounded us, that have chained us down for life, and break free of this shit. And that is basically my hope with this broadcast, with this book, and to follow in the footsteps of one of my greatest inspirations. I've read his book 5 times. I'm on the 5th time right now, reading it live on Live Me. I stay up hours at night and I just read this book aloud to people, and if they come in and they hear it from the beginning or hear the bits and pieces they need to hear, I feel they hear the part that they need to hear when they come in. So I don't worry too much about going back and starting over. Just keep reading and reading, and when people come in, they hear what they're supposed to hear at the point that they're supposed to hear it. But this book is called Life Without Limits. It's Nick Vujicic, and you can look him up on YouTube, and I'll also put a link in the description for y'all below as well. The video that turned me onto him is called No Arms, No Legs, No Worries, and it's a point where he's in a soccer field and somebody kicks the ball and he says, "I wasn't ready." And then it shows him speaking to a auditorium full of high school kids. And after he speaks to them, they're all coming out and hugging him and things like that. And I feel if someone like Nick can become a world-renowned author and motivational speaker like he has, and he has Phocomelia, which is no arms and no legs, and he was born this way, what opportunities are there for the rest of us if someone like Nick can make something out of his life and become somebody, become an inspiration, a motivational speaker to people who are suffering around the world, and offer them hope and restore their faith in God despite all odds. I mean, everything was stacked against him, and he's still doing this. And that there is my greatest inspiration. And I hope to follow in his footsteps through writing this book, through doing all this broadcasting and stuff on Live Me, through doing further YouTube videos throughout this year. I'm hoping to kick 2018 off and be the best year that it's ever been for me, for everybody, for Life in the Battle Zone, for all the warriors out there who are just battling whatever they're battling and going through whatever they're going through. I want people to know that, you know, someone's out there, someone cares, someone wants to be a listening ear. So if you're looking for that someone, I hope you can find your way to Live Me. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android, you can go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download the app. It's free. You don't have to spend any money on the app whatsoever. If you're not comfortable with broadcasting, you don't have to broadcast. Just go sign up, make you a free account, and come watch my broadcast and come watch hundreds of other great broadcasters on the app. Whether you're looking for a laugh, whether you're looking for motivation, whether you're a gamer and you like gaming and you just want to watch someone else do gaming. I just came across the most spectacular gamer on the app that I've ever seen. I've watched hundreds of gamers on this app, but nothing like what I just happened to get, I just slid into by accident. And I'm glad I did. I mean, I literally just got through doing a broadcast, reading a letter that I wrote for my daughter that I lost to adoption 17 years ago. And I was telling people, follow my Live Me etiquette. Anytime you go into someone's broadcast, whether by accident or intentional, share the broadcast and drop 100 likes. Even if you don't want to stay, even if you think you're there by accident, I don't believe there's no accidents. I don't believe in accidents. I believe everything happens by chance or for a reason. And I said, if I get into someone's broadcast because I was tapping the likes or something and I slid out or just, you know, whatever, I slid out and I went into someone else's broadcast, I'm still going to share and I'm still going to throw that 100 likes and I'm going to stick around for a minute and see if I like what I have to, what I see. Or you never know, someone could come into that broadcast that's also just watching it like yourself, and you may be meant to connect with that person that comes into that broadcast. You never know. So I always give everyone on the app a benefit of the doubt. I don't care what your level is, whether you're level 1 or level 100. To me, we all matter. We're all equal, no matter what your app number is, because at the end of the day, it's just an app and it's just another number. And that's not what Jesus sees us as in his eyes. We're all equal in his eyes, no matter the color of our skin, what nationality we are, where we come from. And so, anyway, guys, I just wanted to let y'all know about this. If you don't have Live Me, like I said, I'm going to leave the link to my personal account. You can connect with me through that. It'll be in the description. You just download the app on your Android or Apple device and jump on Live Me and just come watch the broadcast for free. And if you feel like you have the courage to jump in the beam with me, just share your story. And when you think you're ready, let me know. You know, send me a DM, a private message, and I will gladly schedule you in this pink book of mine, and we'll have you your 3 hours of, you know, fame and glory while you sit in the beam and get followers and connect with people who've been with, you know, through similar things that you've been through, like yourself, and just get it off your chest, because I feel that's something, it's a critical step that most of us need to take, is to share our stories, to put a voice to our pain, and finally end it once and for all. Anyway, guys, I look forward to meeting with you guys. I look forward to a fabulous 2018 year. Probably the best that it's ever been for me, and probably for many of y'all. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it, because I just see endless possibilities for this year. So much hope has been restored in me these last few days, despite all the crazy things that's gone on in my life recently. And I just see 2018 being a whole new wonderful year for myself and for so many wonderful people who I see myself coming in contact with, because that is my hopes for you guys. I hope to make this a spectacular year like none other for each and every single person that I touch their lives this year. And I pray that God puts so many people in my life this year. I'm praying for thousands. I want to touch thousands, hundreds of people a day at least. If I could touch 100 new lives a day, I would be happy. Imagine the impact that would make on the world if I could touch 100 people's lives every single day in 2018. And there's 365 days in a year. That's 365,000 people. Is that correct? I think so. My math is terrible. Anyway, guys, and it's not just the ones that I touch, it's also the lives that y'all will touch too. Because once I touch someone's life and y'all pay it forward, imagine each one of those people touching 5 people's lives, 10 people's lives, 20 people's lives, heck, 100 people's lives. If I could touch someone's life that touches 100 people's lives, 100 people a day, touching another 100 lives a piece a day, the possibilities are infinite. And there's no reason we can't believe that it's even possible. There's no reason whatsoever. I say let's go out there and let's do this, guys. And let's make 2018 the most spectacular year it has ever been, that we have seen in centuries, that we've seen in ages, or whatever. Let's just rock this year, because 2017 has just been like a crazy year. Crazy for people in Houston and Southeast Texas and Louisiana who were hit by, Hurricane Harvey. People in Florida who were hit by Irma and Maria. People in London who were struck by the Grenfell Tower fires. People in, what is the name of that city? Where Ariana Grande was doing the concert in England, in Manchester, during the bombing. And just so many tragic things have gone on around the world in 2017, and I want to shed some hope for people who otherwise may have lost it this year. And I'm hoping to rally the people beside me, with me, whatever, not behind me. There's nobody behind me. We are side by side, arm in arm, rallying more and more people together to create an infinite power and an infinite wave of hope this year, and restoring faith to people who may have otherwise completely lost it, like you and I. So anyway, guys, Texas Warrior Princess here. Y'all please connect with me on Live Me if you can. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description below. I'll also leave my Facebook. I just created a new one the other night, so I only have one person following me on there right now. So I'm looking forward to building my Facebook up again. Follow me on Instagram. I'll leave that link for y'all below as well. And be sure to check out my blog. I'll have all of those links for you below. And I hope and pray all of you have a wonderful 2018 year and a safe and happy New Year's celebration. Peace out, guys.